Hello, everyone. My name is Mark Greiner, and I'm CTO of Unica. Today, we'll talk about how Unica and Actian Vector come together to power analytics within customer experience platform, and we'll focus on marketing use cases. The agenda for today is the overview of customer experience solution. We'll drill into Actian Vector's capabilities that we apply within that solution. We'll talk about Unica marketing software, and we'll focus on several low-hanging fruit use cases for using machine learning and analytics in marketing. Recently, I observed that the majority of RFPs and opportunities that come my way require that companies build either customer data platforms or customer experience platforms or digital experience platforms. But whatever is the name, if we take a step back, those platforms deliver a certain set of functionalities. So let's take a look at those functionalities. First of all, the customers would like to understand the behavior of their customers and visitors across sessions, across devices, perhaps across owned and paid channels. They want to be able to recognize who those customers are across those domains and sessions and devices and consolidate and reconcile those identities. Customer events together with identities provide a very interesting data structure that describes customer journey in full, and this provides a source for intelligence algorithms to be deployed and trying to extract actionable insights from the observations and collected data. Then comes my favorite part, which is audience activation. This is where marketing users define target audiences, segment audiences, define personalized experience to be delivered to a variety of audiences, segments, and populations across channels and devices. And needless to say that ongoing learning is an important part of the platform. So ability to deploy A/B and multivariate testing, randomize microsegments to continue to learn and understand which treatments, which offers, which messages, in what channels, at what time of the day are the most effective. You know, experimentation is also the important part of the platform. And then the process repeats. The learning never stops, and there is no limit to improvement and efficiency. There are multiple vendors out there in the CDP segment or CX segment that deliver some functionality across all those functions and features. HCL software took a best-of-breed approach when providing solutions for the customers, in the area of customer experience platform. So what we did is we worked together between multiple HCL brands such as Unica, Commerce, and DX, and also partnered with companies like Acfer and partnered with Google to deliver a very comprehensive platform with deep functionality in every area of the solution. So we would use data collection engine technology from Acfer. We'll use data mart stored in Actian Vector, and this will have detailed data, privacy, performance, and scalability, and would support the necessary ML machine learning processing. Google Looker with its BI tools, with its BI tools like Looker, Spark computing, TensorFlow library would allow us to implement machine learning algorithm and extract actionable insights from the data. Audience activation will be responsibility of Unica. This is where marketers will be able to leverage the data, leverage machine learning to precisely target audiences across channels and deliver the right message to the right customer at the right time. And then HCL products such as digital experience and commerce will actually render customer experiences to navigate the products, to purchase the products, to see the right content. The features of the solution would range from cross-session, cross-device identification to creating a single view of customer, to supporting resource management and automated workflows for content creation, marketing processes, and merchandising, generating insights for marketers, generating insights for merchandisers, and running marketing campaigns and journeys. From the functional architecture perspective, the solution has the following footprint. At the top of the diagram, there are channels either owned by the company or channels that represent third-party and social media, anywhere where the company can interact with its customers and prospects. On the right side of the diagram is our data collection engine. It is responsible for tagging the channels, collecting event data, digital identity management, event collation, aggregation, and providing real-time access to the data. At the bottom right, you'll see Actian vector representing customer data store that would collect all the rich data from the platform. At the bottom left, the component that represents our machine learning capabilities that will implement using Google platform, Google tools. And in the middle, this is the footprint of Unica and all its modules covering functionality from financial planning all the way to journey orchestration and delivering personalized messaging and offers to a variety of channels. We'll drill into individual components of the solution next, but while we're on this big picture slide, I would like to highlight several features that really make the implementation of this platform simpler and greatly improve performance of the platform. So first, the output of our data collection engine, essentially two data sets, identity graph and collated events table, are stored in files in Parquet format. Actian Vector can actually read Parquet formatted files as external tables, and thus it would eliminate an extra step of data ingestion from data collection platform into the data store. It's maybe a small thing, but it makes the platform more efficient. When it comes to machine learning, the data may need to go through a number of transformations, and a lot of those transformations can be performed within Vector using its powerful SQL capabilities. But Vector not only helps to prepare data for machine learning, it also could help deploy and make data scoring more efficient by running Python script within database user-defined functions. And finally, when Unica implements customer segmentation logic, it generates a sequence of waterfall queries that gradually reduce the target audience and apply a variety of criteria. Given that all those queries work at a fairly granular level, the audience could be individual, customer, prospect, household, account. Pulling data out of the database for every step of this multi-step process would result in fairly poor performance. Fortunately, Unica can generate the SQL in the format of create table as, and then the queries populating those intermediate tables will take into account the output of the previous process. This allows us to implement the majority of the processing required for targeting and segmentation by leveraging database capabilities. And then only extract data to deliver personalized recommendations and attributes and personalization fields to required channels. If we look at this solution from the data perspective, all the data sources that contribute to customer experience data store include the behaviors from customers, prospects, as we discussed before. Marketing data would include offer metadata and campaign metadata, customer segmentation, but also contact and response history generated by marketing campaigns and activities. Commerce will bring in product catalog, inventory, order history. Machine learning and AI would bring in models and model scores. And then we can also get data from partners that we work with, partners like players in ad tech space, and also other enterprise data feeds. If you wanted to do any sort of ROI analysis, you need to have not just revenue from purchases, but also costs, internal costs for developing offers, developing content, running promotions, placing third-party ads. So enterprise data feeds are essential for in-depth analysis. Now let's take a look at key components. As the title of the presentation applies, we're really looking at two components in this overall architecture. One is Actian Vector, and the other one would be Unica. I already mentioned several vector features that make it a great fit for our solution, but let's take a more comprehensive look. Actian Vector is a second-generation columnar analytic database, and it delivers high-performance analytics within an elastic, scalable, multi-platform environment with run-everywhere architecture. Vector is optimized to compute, to optimally use memory and storage, and is the only platform built from ground up for intelligent multi-cloud deployments. Intelligent design leads to superior performance. Actian participated in an independent benchmark analysis with GigaOM and demonstrated that it is 8 times faster and 6 times more cost-effective than Snowflake. Overall, Actian Vector outperforms all the competition with an added advantage of hybrid deployment on-premise or in the cloud, and you have a choice of your favorite cloud platform, AWS, Azure, or Google. Actian testing with Google, which HCL has very close partnership with, shown even greater performance uplift of up to 30%. The combination of Unica software and Vector within the customer experience solution provides our users with a high-performance platform to power advanced reporting dashboards, execute marketing campaigns, and run machine learning algorithms on the rich customer data. Vector provides Unica with the option to deploy on-premise or in the cloud. And once the Vector is installed, you connect Unica to Vector by using standard ODBC drivers. And then for performance, you will turn on Unica in-database processing feature. And then you will efficiently leverage complex selection and segmentation logic being done in the database using Vector scalable query execution. Now let's take a look at the Unica. Unica is a marketing software company, was born in 1992, And then it was born again in 2019 with the conclusion of the deal between IBM and HCL. In less than 2 years, Unica became a cloud-native application, and it released 4 brand new and 4 greatly refactored modules, and all that happened in less than 2 years. In addition to 4 core products. So the core modules of Unica include Plan to manage marketing resources and workflows, Campaign for batch-oriented selection and segmentation, Optimize for hyper-personalization based on machine learning scores and business constraints, and then a real-time personalization engine called Interact. There are other modules that range from our own communication engine that handles email, SMS, WhatsApp, mobile push, that's called Deliver, to our open-ended integration framework that allows us to connect to any third-party vendor in MarTech or AdTech space. We also introduced a new module called Journey for orchestration of messages within a variety of preferred channels, and basically to help marketers easier manage customer journeys. Within the customer experience solution, Unica will serve not just data consumer, but also as a data provider. So let's take a look at the features and objects within Unica Suite that will generate data for the platform and data that we will then leverage in machine learning. So the first key concept in Unica is offer. When you hear the word offer, you may think about coupon, 10% off, buy one, get one free. You know, this offer will not last. And the truth is that offer can be all that and many other things. It's reusable and trackable application and configurable application object that represents any type of marketing communication. The offers essentially are vectors of configurable attributes, and those attributes could be entered by the user and later used for analysis. You know, for example, if we have 20% off offers, you know, are they, you know, what's the response rate compared to 10% off offers? But in the latest release, we also integrated offers with AI cognitive tagging services. So now we can take offer content such as image and extract keywords and then analyze, you know, which customers prefer, you know, images with red versus blue. You know, maybe we're selling cars. So there is a lot of rich data, mostly metadata, that is collected within the construct of offer, and something that can be used within platform for analysis and getting extracts. I also wanted to mention the fact that offers are integrated with content management system and basically can be wrapped around content coming from our own digital experience CMS or Adobe Experience Manager or any other CMS that we can integrate with using REST APIs. The next key concept is segment. Customer segment within Unica is a group of identity keys. So it may be a set of individuals, set of companies, set of accounts that meet certain business rules and criteria. As I mentioned, when Unica builds membership of the segmentation, it does it in multi-step process so that marketing users can see how the waterfall flows from one selection to another and how each subsequent condition affects overall count of the target audience. Each condition that Unica applies could work on the data that already exists in the database or on data that can be computed on the fly. And computation could be done either on Unica server or, as would make much more sense to do within the database. So Unica can leverage database functionality for aggregating transactions, aggregating aggregating events, offer presentations, offer responses, and coming up with the metrics necessary for segmentation based on business rules. Now, these two concepts come together in the definition of personalization rules. So what we see on the screen is a list of personalization rules defined within Unica Interact. And each rule has segment component, which represents the target audience. Each rule has offer name, so this segment will get this offer. The rule also has some indication of where this offer should be delivered. It could be a channel, it could be a page on the website, or it could be location on the website page. And then, very importantly, there is a way to rank the rules. This is extremely important when delivering the most relevant offers. Really, most relevant offers will have the highest score. And what is important is that the score could be either a static number provided by the marketer, or it could be computed based on business rule by comparing, for example, customer attributes with offer attributes, or it could be the outcome of a machine learning algorithm. When these rules are executed and offers are delivered to customers and responses are captured, the two extremely important data structures are populated. When offer is presented to the customer, Unica writes a record in the contact history. When the customer responds to an offer, clicks on the web banner, opens email, completes a purchase, Unica writes a record in the response history. And combining those two tables is the foundation for effectiveness analytics within Unica. So now we have talked about the components of the platform and what data the platform has. What can we do with the data? The first sort of low-hanging fruit is the ability to create offer response model and automate population of that score in the personalization rule with computed probability of the response for a given customer or given segment. Then, if we could take a step back, customers not only see offers and respond to offers, they do things on their own, and it would be great to understand the journey in which customer lives or navigates, understand which state of the journey the customer is in, and adjust messaging accordingly. And then analyze, what was the impact of our messages? Did we actually move the customer to the next stage in the journey? This could be the foundation of a multi-touch attribution or allocating credit to different channels and contacts within the journey. And ultimately, if we're successful with multi-touch attribution, that we can help marketing users to optimize their budget and allocate their marketing spend in a way that maximizes returns. So in the remaining several minutes, let's just quickly take a look at two top use cases in this list and see how, Vector can work with Unica to help implement the use cases. So offer response model. We're trying to figure out which offer is the best, for each segment. The data that we have to work with, in this case, we have Unica segmentation membership. We have various offer attributes of different types, strings, numbers, dates, We have cognitive tags that we received from, AI tagging services, and then we have contact and response history. For each type of data, we need to perform certain transformations. For strategic segments, because they're not mutually exclusive, we have to do one-hot encoding of segments and then pivot on the segment itself to create one record for each customer that contains all the segmentation logic. We need to enumerate strings and as offer attributes, and then we can either pivot on attribute or also do one-hot encoding. For offer attributes, we can do pivot on attributes. For date attributes, we could, extract variety of date components to see, to try to estimate whether seasonality plays a factor in offer response rate, whether day of the week plays a role, or maybe time of the day when the customers are contacted and more likely to respond. Tag strings need to be split and also enumerated and one-hot encoded. And then for contact history and response history, we may want to roll up data from individual level, which may have very kind of low probability of response, to a segment level, so that our response rates are, easier to predict. And all of these transformations could be performed within the database without extracting data. And that would be a great benefit of using vector and storing data in vector. So vector certainly helps with preparation data for, for machine learning. And then once we run our decision tree, we can deploy a decision tree model in vector as another view to do scoring. And if the model is more complex, as I mentioned before, we can deploy the entire Python code in the UDF function. And the next use case is trying to understand customer journey. For this scenario, the appropriate model would be input-output hidden Markov model. If you are not familiar, hidden Markov models are stochastic state machines with the key assumption that the next state only depends on the current state, so there is no, looking back in history. If we consider not just model states that generate output, but also take inputs, this model maps pretty nicely to a customer purchase journey, which goes from, getting interested to, making a decision, and finally either completing a purchase or abandoning the purchase. The algorithm of input-output HMM ingest collated sequences of events and contacts and offers, and then learns the transition matrix and output emission matrix. And once this is completed, we can use the model to answer several important questions. For a given customer, what is the current state of the model? If we know that, we can adjust our messaging. If we look at the matrix, we can analyze what is the impact of our offers in terms of promoting customer to the next stage of the journey. And taking that analysis even further, we can optimize delivery of offers, and we can also optimize allocation of our budget to generate the right messages at the right time. Needless to say, we're kind of the very early days of applying AI and machine learning across essentially every step of customer experience. But no matter what new cases and new challenges will come up, I'm quite confident that Unica and Vector are very well positioned to work together and solve those cases with flying colors. Thank you.